Whether you're a private citizen, an international business leader, or simply someone eager to stay on top of the latest news, this book is a great way to get caught up on the most recent developments in the worlds of international business, tax, politics, and social affairs. Go to morningmusings.com and order your copy today.
Who made your Ford? Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennigs. Right now, the answer is clear. The Ford Company. Who else? But from now on and in the future, there may be different answers. Ford Model E is the name of the company who will make electronic Fords. And Ford Blue will be taking care of the traditional internal combustion engine vehicles. The company decided to make this split to have two distinct businesses share still relevant technology, but use best practices to leverage and to scale between the two companies, but also to give each company an incentive to go their own way. This is part of the Ford announcement to be completely carbon neutral in the future. And well, everybody else is giving a big smile about that because other competitors will be carbon neutral way, way, way in advance. What is the real reason behind the growing electric vehicle business and to maximize the profits into a different company? I can see the following. Number one, it is attractive for investors to have a highly profitable company. Number two, I can see potential liability in the future when environmentalists may file actions against the traditional internal combustion engine making company, and therefore let's get the profits into a different company. Number three, it is also a question of marketing. So here there's a brand new company, a brand new story. How exciting can that be? So for all of you who'd like to buy a Ford, keep in mind, Ford Model E will be the future company. On a side note, remember when the Ford company blocked Elon Musk's idea for Tesla to trademark the Model E, they blacked it. And not only that, now Tesla created a Model 3. Now, the question is, how confusing is a Model 3 versus a Model E in the current market? We will see if this will all lead to some interesting litigation between Ford and Tesla. But for now, who made your Ford is an answer you need to think about. Are you pulling out of Russia? Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennigs. And many B2B companies are now getting out of Russia for the fear of being closely connected to some Russian oligarchs or to the Russian market or in general with the Russian government. But how about Netflix, Apple, Google, Meta, and you name it? Will they pull out? Here we have a different scenario as they are mostly in the business to customer and the B2C business. So therefore the Russian people will suffer if Apple and Netflix are no longer available. But would it even matter for those companies? A recent study shows that Apple, Google, Meta, Netflix, and you name it, only would lose about 1 to 2% of their multi-billion-dollar revenue if they were pulling all of their services from Russia. Not a lot, more the breadcrumbs on the table. Amazon has some cloud server and some other services in the B2B world. However, the typical Apple customer, the typical Netflix customer is just an individual. Would they be hurt without that service? Maybe, but that's not the question. So if money is not the real issue, why would they stay in or why would they pull out? I can also see that Netflix, Apple, and the other big companies are interested in pulling out of a market to generate some goodwill on the Hill, where they're right now heavily scrutinized for their quasi-monopoly and their structures in the United States. Would it benefit them to say, we are just a good corporate citizen, we are pulling out of a market to be in line with our governmental wishes? Maybe it'll save them, but standing firm against Russia may definitely give them a bigger political argument than the financial losses they occur inside the United States. Do you have Legos at home? Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennigs. Those who follow me frequently recall that last year I talked about Brickit, an app, an AI-based tool where you scan the Legos you have and the tool will give you the instructions how to make something out of it. But regardless of this available app, Lego had a record year. In 2021, again, Lego sold more than ever before. And why is that? Well, maybe there is still some post-corona new hominess where folks at home need new toys. In any case, the gain in the year 2020 was 9.9 billion kronas. In 21, it was 13.3 billion kronas, which is roughly 1.8 billion euros or $2 billion. It is interesting to see that Lego earned more money than ever before. And it is not only that there's a 30% roughly increase in sales, 27% to be precise, and Lego lovers buy Lego City, Lego Technique, Lego Creator, and of course, Lego Star Wars. Interesting enough, the company opened 165 new sales stores worldwide, 95 in China, and there are now over 830 Lego stores worldwide. It's growing and growing and growing. But the takeaway for you as the entrepreneur is, what does Lego do in order to give back? Or what does Lego do with the profit? According to the Lego chef, Niels Christiansen, the gain is used in online, digitalization, and the environment. What can Lego do for the betterment of our environment as one token, as well as online and digital business? Interesting enough. So what are your key takeaways for your company? What are you investing your profits in? Do you put money into the environment? Do you put money into digitalization? Let me know. Would love to hear and discuss. What is a CBDC? Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennigs. Central Bank Digital Currency. That is the word behind the acronym CBDC. President Biden signed an executive order the other day tasking various governmental agencies with developing frameworks and policies and proposals for enhancing the regulation and to develop a responsible development of digital currencies. CBDC are central bank digital tokens, which are created by the central bank as an alternative to a printed and minted currency. So in other words, they are pegged to the value of the country's traditional, the so-called fiat currency. And it is a way, if you think dollar, one of those digital dollars would be linked to the dollar, unlike Bitcoin, which floats around kind of like a separate currency. While Bitcoin started with the idea to create a currency which is out of the control of governments, CBDC is the answer of the traditional governmental-backed currency in a modern world. Many countries are right now developing CBDCs. Some already have implemented them. While all of those countries are watching and looking and creating physical currency alternatives, it makes me wonder, why now? First of all, during COVID-19, the exchange of real cash diminished over time, and the alternatives became more and more prevalent. Even in Germany, a country which was traditionally very hesitant to accept credit cards, it is now very much accepted to pay paperless, to pay cashless, to pay with a credit card, or maybe even just with an Apple phone or an Apple Watch. So what are the goals of the CBDCs? The goal is to create an alternative in a market which seems to demand such market, and of course, to compete directly with the non-traditional, non-governmental backed currencies, such as Bitcoin. So those cryptocurrencies are highly volatile, with the value going up and down. We have followed that on Bitcoin for quite some time. So stability is certainly something which goes hand in hand with the CBDCs. There are different types, wholesale CBDCs and retail CBDCs. However, at the end, I'm curious how governments will get rid of the money. Remember, historically, currencies were backed by gold and silver. Then, over time, the so-called fiat currencies were created, which were not backed up by anything. But now, the next level would be a CBDC, which is a currency not even backed by a little piece of paper. What's the time difference? between Europe and America? Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennigs. And if you live on the East Coast, the answer is 6 hours. Well, that is 6 hours if both are aligned with summer daylight savings time and winter time as a normal time. The United States pushed forward, spring forward, how the phrase goes, last weekend. Europe will follow the following weekend. So for 2 weeks, we now have on the East Coast to Central European time, a 5-hour time difference. Confusing for businesses indeed. Other states in the United States, for example, Arizona, never changed the time. They remain permanently in winter time. And now, under the idea of you only live once, why do you need to waste days of your life with time changes? US Senate passed a law that time change will be a message from the past. It'll be summer forever, eternal summer, so to say, as summertime will be the new normal time in the United States. Senate passed this bill in bipartisan support, where Republicans and Democrats unanimously said, we don't want to do this anymore. Summertime forever. Now the US House of Representatives needs to approve this bill, and finally President Biden needs to sign it. But what does it mean for businesses? Out of a sudden, the convenient 6-hour time difference from the East Coast may be stuck. It may be 5 hours in the winter, 5 hours in the summer, 6 hours in the winter, 6 hours in the summer. Who knows what it would take? Interesting enough, also Europe has a discussion, but Europe seems to indicate that they want to have summertime forever forbidden and it's wintertime forever. So if that's the case, then we have a 7-hour time difference between East Coast United States and Central Europe. Will this help businesses? I know I would not have any answers. I would have to speculate. But my quick speculation is the closer time zones are together, the easier it is to do business. So I can only hope that Europe will stick with a forever scenario of also forever summertime. Whereas if they want to change it, please don't keep forever winter time, because the more time differs, the more complicated it is. For you, my dear fellow business owners and business operators, how do you work with time change in your business? I'd love to know that.